Hello, good morning, good afternoon and good evening to you, the good and wonderful people of the tube. Hope you're well today, hope you're feeling grand and always well in your world. Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of How to Play Like John Frusciante. And in this episode, I would like to talk to you and teach you as much as I can about the chords that John uses, the chord patterns John uses, how to play chord progressions in different ways, like John. So much so I've come up with a little progression that I'm going to show you in a bit, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I've got to say straight off the bat, to play like John, learning his melodic sense with chords is absolutely mega important. I can't stress that enough. Regardless of his guitar solos, regardless of all his kind of like, you know, fast playing and all this kind of stuff, you need to understand his chord melody and certain John progressions and the way he plays certain chords before you can actually get onto that, because this is the most important aspect of John's playing, bar none, in my opinion. So I'm going to hopefully teach you kind of basically what I can today, kind of like, you know, without going like, you know, mega advanced with it. And at the end of it, I'm going to show you some songs. I'm going to show you I Could Die For You, off By The Way, which has got some crazy chords in it, real big stretch chords, something to kind of like, you know, get your hand working. I'm going to show you Snow, because that's a riff that a lot of people always want to play, and it is very complex. And I want to talk about Snow again in kind of a bit of detail, as why he plays it in such a way, how it came to be. And also I'm going to talk about songs like Wet Sand, where it's very, very straightforward, basic chords without anything really overly complex happening. So, without further ado, let me show you this progression. I'm going to do it in D minor, as that's John's kind of favourite key. A lot of songs are in D minor. I'm going to talk when I get into solo territory in the next lesson, and not next lesson, sorry, but lesson after the next lesson. If that makes any sense. I basically want to get you to kind of like think a lot in the key of D minor, as that's John's kind of main key. So, without further ado, let me show you this progression and we'll get on with it. Okay, so the progression I've come up with is actually a very well used John progression. It's used in I Could Have Lied, I Could Have Lied, sorry, and Wet Sand, and a few other songs here and there, but I've shifted it into the key of D minor, sorry. So, the progression is D minor, F major, C major, and B flat major. And you can play it in all sorts of different ways. I will get into explaining that, you know, where you're playing the chords and how you kind of fingering the chords, madam, in a minute. But straight off the bat, this is what you can kind of do with this progression. So already there's two different things there. So let me get into showing you the progression, how to kind of play the basic chords, and then we'll get into kind of adding little embellishments John style. So do that. Okay, so let me show you what the how to kind of play the chords straight off. Like, you know, the first thing I'm going to teach you is kind of like in kind of scar tissue fashion, but I want to show you the full chord just because. So your D minor is 5th fret A string, first finger. Your ring finger wants to be 7th fret D string, little finger wants to be 7th fret G string, and your middle finger wants to be on your 6th fret B string. So it's that. And I'm going to play with my thumb over top. I say it's just, you know, it's a comfort thing for me now. If you can't play with your thumb over top, that's fine for this kind of point in time. But, you know, keep trying. You know, you will get there with your thumb. You know, it takes a long time to be comfortable with your thumb over top. It's kind of weaned out of guitar players in this day and age to kind of play with your thumb over the top. So it does take time to get there. So anyway, back to this. So that's the D minor, and then next one is F major. And what we're doing here is 1st fret on the 8th fret on the A string, and your ring finger bars the D, G, and B strings. So that's your F major, and that same shape, you just slide that up to the 3rd fret for C, and then slide it to the 1st fret for B flat. And they're majors. So it's F major, C major, B flat major, and D minor. So that's the whole progression, and the first one I want to show you is we're going to use our fingers for this one, and it's going to be kind of like, we're going to basically take away these two fingers from the chord, so we're left with that, which is, you know, scar tissue, pre-chorus to Snow, loads of John solo stuff, so we're left with this chord, which is kind of like a basic, you know, a bare bones D minor. And then we're going to go up to the F major. So basically, instead of like, you know, doing that, we're going to get rid of that, and we're just going to play the B string. Same thing with C. Same thing with B. B flat, should I say. So what we're going to do is basically A string, then B string, then play the A string again, and then slide up to the 8th fret, and then play the B string again. Play the A string again, slide down to the 3rd fret, B string, and then slide down to the 1st fret, B string. So. And you can mess around with this however you please. You can sit there playing around with it for ages. All sorts of different speeds, all sorts of different rates. You can mess around with that to your heart's content. So that's the first kind of thing. So I want to talk about some of the little kind of bits we can add to this now. Stuff like all these kind of little twiddly bits. So let me show you that. Okay, so first little noodly bit, should we say, is this one. And this one should keep you busy for a few hours because it's use of little fingers. So what we're doing is we're playing the the D note on the A string on the 5th fret, and then that's your first finger is on the B string on the 6th, and you're using your little finger to do the diddly dums, which I showed you in the last thingy. But so it's like, so really slow, you're playing the D string, the D note, sorry, on the A string, and then you immediately kind of go in B string, hammer on, pull off, and finishing up on the 7th fret on your G string. So really slow, D note, B string, hammer on, pull off, finishing up on there. So again, D note, so just, yeah. And I say, you know, that hammer on and pull off, I'm not touching the string. I'll pluck it once, and then I hit the G string. So that's the first one. So, and then we can get to the F, which we can do stuff like this. So what we're doing again is the F note on the A string, and all we're doing here is hammering on and pulling off. We're not actually kind of doing a full diddly dum. This is like a diddly, if you will. It's a Ned Flanders chord, everybody. So the F note, A string, and then pluck the B string. So B string, hammer on, and pull off. And you can do that with these fingers, and I'm going to use my little finger just to find it a bit more easy and a bit more comfortable for me. So both together. Oh, way up. See, even I get it wrong. So that's the first one. And again, there's so much messing around you can do, it's ridiculous. And then we're going to go to the C, which we're going to keep just playing. And keep the B playing as well. So that's the first worst thing you can do with it, you could also keep the D playing. And you're doing the exact same little thing you did on the C that you did on the F. So it's a hammer on and a pull off. So now that's. Yeah, there are countless. I could literally sit here all day and come up with different ways to play this in a John style. So, but I'll leave it at them two for the time being. So you got. Forget the fingers. So just kind of like, mess around with them two, and you can also kind of like, all sorts of different things. You can even put those diddly bits on the B flat, but you'll have to reach over to the 5th fret. So it's a bit of a stretch. So maybe you could try that one if you're feeling a bit more adventurous. So that's kind of like, something to be kind of like working on, really, that kind of style, which is very John. So let me show you some more kind of chordal things. I want to kind of show you something like. Well, I'll show you something like that now. So yeah, let's get to that one. Okay, so next example. We're going to start with the full D minor now, D major. Good gravy, Dave. Good gravy, Davey. Anyway, moving on. We're going to start with full D minor, and what we're going to do first is we're going to hit the D note on the A string, and then we're going to bring the whole chord in. So just that note on its own, and then put your fingers down and hit the chord. And you can hit it as hard or as soft as you want, really. And then we're going to slide up. So we're going to hit the D note again and slide it to the F note. So, and then it's going to be that little fill. So we're going to get to the F note, and then we're going to play the 10th fret on the A string, slide it to the 12th fret, and we're going to end up on the C note, which is on the D string on the 10th fret. So really slow. One more time. Actually, if the A string ringing there, that sounded really nice. It's got a weird thing to it. Anyway, but again, this is the thing. There is always things to kind of like mess around with, open strings and all sorts, and I'll get to open strings in another lesson. But anyway, so that's the first part. So D note, full D minor, slide up to the F, and then do your little fill. Then we're going to play a C, and the same thing again, play the C note first and then play the chord. Then we're going to play the B flat major. And then we're going to do that. So we're not playing the chord of a B minor, major, sorry, we're just playing the B flat note. And then we're going to slide up 3rd to 5th on the A string. And then on the 3rd to 5th on the D string, we're going to do a diddly dum. So it's. So the whole thing together is this. Really slow. So you can just mess around with that, and again, if you don't want to do just the little diddles on the F and just want to keep it to the B flat, you can do that. It's important to play around and mess around, and just like, so for instance, like this time I'm not going to do it on the F. I'm just going to do the twiddles on the B flat, and then I'm going to do it again, but I'm only going to do it on the F. So it sounds like. So you're basically just messing around and changing things and getting this style firmly locked in your head, which is so important to kind of like, you know, hear things the way kind of I feel John would hear things chordally, like these little kind of Hendrix twiddles and, you know, those kind of things, and messing around with them. Is there any other things? I can also show you this progression in a different kind of way, in a different kind of fashion, so to say. So you can do it like this. So this is the exact same progression, it's just in a different position now. So let me show you this one, and I'll show you some of, like, you know, the little, you know, the diddly bits we can do with that, and some of the like little fills and whatnot. So yeah, let me show you that.